Let's start the recording first. Okay, great. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well today. We have a very special guest today with us, Mr. Fadi. He is the founder and chairman of Morgan International. He's an inspirational leader with 24 years of experience in the professional education industry. He manages Morgan International's global operations in the Middle East, Canada, Europe, and India. He's the CEO of Morgan International since 1995 and is responsible for managing and directing 32 offices with more than 100 employees and over 350 faculty members. He has introduced the professional certification in the region, and with these pioneering efforts, they have opened up a lot of professional education to the broader Middle East student body. Between 2001 and 2012, while his tenure as CEO at Morgan International, Mr. Ganni was an international consultant for Becker Professional Education, which is a division of DeVry Inc., a Chicago-based company. In addition to his current role for the past 24 years, he has also been an international CPA instructor in the Middle East, Canada, India, and Europe. He has taught and advised thousands of students on CPA and CMA exams globally. He graduated from Concordia University in 1992 with a bachelor's in international business. He earned his graduate diploma in applied management at McGill University, which is in Canada, in 1995, the same year in which he achieved a CPA and started Morgan International. So I'd like to welcome a very special guest today to give you a talk about professional certifications, Mr. Fadi. Mr. Fadi, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tahir, and it's a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for giving us the chance to present about professional certification. So the objective today, on a very high level, I'm going to talk about the various certifications, what they are. I'm not going to go into very much details. I just want to give you a general idea about the differences and why you should pursue them and the value. And the remaining half we'll talk about we'll answer all your questions. So in general, just to, as an introduction, over the years, we've been seeing more and more demand for professional qualifications. And there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, what we've seen is that the market is changing drastically. With COVID-19 now, it's even faster. And there remains a skills gap between the educational system, the traditional education system, between what the employers require and the skills that the candidates acquire throughout their education. So that's why this is what really prompting the organizations to move forward and demand for those certifications. So what we've seen is that there's a skills gap, specifically in certain areas when we talk about analytics, when we talk about specific topics within, which is more related to soft skills. And a lot of organizations are finding it very difficult to recruit candidates. We even know now that some organizations like the Big Four, some of them now they have their own tests, their own assessment, even if you have the highest GPA. So it's becoming more and more a demand by organizations to select the candidates with the right skills that meet the job requirement. So in summary, if I want to say there's a skills gap between the educational system, and that's not in Saudi Arabia, that's globally, between what the education system is providing, it's changing very fast. The skills processed by individuals to advance in their career and the workplace requirements. So employers are looking for certain set of skills. So everybody is talking about upskilling nowadays, and the lifespan education now, they say every 3 years you have to educate your knowledge. If you don't recreate yourself within 3 years, you become obsolete. So what's filling the gap is really the professional certification. This is on a very high level as an introduction. So most of the companies are looking for team members that are competent in their field. They're looking for productive and result-driven employees, committed to the organization's objective, trustworthy and ethical, They are prepared to the more and more demands of the jobs, and they're looking for people who can bring added value to the organization. Additionally, what they are looking at is people who can adapt quickly to the changing environments. Everybody is talking about it now. So it's not only about technical knowledge, there are a lot of other elements in addition to the technical knowledge. Now, to talk about professional certification, there are thousands of them. I'm gonna talk about the main one. I'm gonna be talking about the CPA, the CMA in the accounting area, and the CFA in the finance area. I'm gonna be talking about as well the SHRM, which is an HR-related certification, the digital marketing, and I'm gonna be talking about supply chain logistics certification. I'm just gonna give you a highlight on each one, and then I will tell you what are the differences, and I will answer all the questions. So let's start with the CPA. Before I get into it, there's no specific organization. If you look at the various industries and the organization, more and more organizations, these are just sample of corporates that we are dealing with that are recruiting certified people. And please take note, this is not the only list. There's a lot more. Mainly many of the international organizations and now the local as well are demanding more and more professional certification. I know Aramco is very active in that. SABIC is very active in that. So this is something that will give you added value. The question mark is, which is more important? Your university education or the certification? You need both. I mean, you need to start getting the base with the university, and then you advance into professional certification. So because we always receive the question mark, should I go for my professional qualification or the education? And the answer is always both. They complement each other. You cannot have, in most of the cases, you cannot have one without the other. So let's start talking about the Certified Public Accountant. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. It is a professional qualification offered by the AICPA out of the US. It is more geared towards people who want to work in the audit field. So if you're planning to join the audit, or you want to work in financial accounting and reporting and taxes, the CPA will be the right designation for you. So most of the people who graduate or earn the CPA, they usually start their career path by working for public accounting. What I mean by public accounting is the audit field. Once they've accumulated certain number of experiences, they either decide to continue in that direction with the objective to reach a partner level within the firms, or they will shift to either the corporate, so they work in private sector, or they join a government organization. A lot of CPAs as well teach at universities. Some of them, they go on their own and they work as a consulting, or some will join nonprofit organizations. So it's very important that you gain, if you opt for the CPA, that you gain the audit experience, the public accounting experience. It will enhance your skills. And once you've accumulated enough experience, then you can decide which direction you'd like to take. So when we talk about CPA, we're talking about auditing, we're talking about taxes, tax accounting and planning for taxes. We're talking about financial analysis and planning, forensic accounting. We're talking about, a lot of them work in general, environmental accounting, a lot work in academic research. And lately, we've seen witnessing that a lot of the IT companies are hiring CPAs. If you're talking about platforms like Oracle and large infrastructure of an IT to support the organization, I'm talking about financial packages. Usually the people who put the process, the implementation, it's usually CPAs who do that in collaboration with IT technical people. So in order to become a CPA, first of all, you have to pass the exam. It's a 4-part examination. You need to have a university degree with a major in accounting, a minimum of 18 credits in accounting, and you need to meet the experience requirements. So you have 3 things you need to meet: the education, the experience, and passing the exam. Once you met all those requirements, you can earn the title CPA. So when we talk about education, we're talking about a minimum of a bachelor degree from accredited university. KFUPM is an accredited university. What I mean by bachelor degree, what I mean is 120 credit hours. And that's in order to apply for the exam. Once you apply and pass the exam, then you need to meet the experience requirements. The experience varies between 1 and 3 years. So it depends on what type of an experience, whether it is an public accounting experience. What I mean by that is audit experience or non-audit experience. Is it tax versus managerial accounting? The range is between 1 and 3 years. Experience in Saudi Arabia is counted as well. And finally, pass the uniform CPA examination. So the exam is 4 parts. So part 1 is auditing and attestation. It's a 4-hour exam. Then you have regulation. It's a 4-hour exam. The regulation covers mainly tax topics and non-governmental entities. Then you have the financial accounting and reporting, which is the typical financial accounting, what you learn at the university level. And then we have the business environment and concepts. So a total of 16 hours of examination with questions divided between multiple choice questions. And we have something called task-based simulation. What we mean by task-based simulation is where they will put you as if you're really on the job. They will give you a case, and it's all computer-based. They will give you a case, and where you have to answer, you have several questions related to that case. It could be write a memo, it could be what are your findings, it could be produce an audit report, or give a recommendation. So it could be anything as if you're really on the job. So the exam is 100% multiple choice questions, and it's a computer-based examination. If we look at the auditing, I don't want to go too technical. So what you study is ethics, how you assess the risk, and how you plan the audit, and what are the different types of procedures you carry to obtain evidence and the conclusions. While the regulations also cover ethics, it covers business law and federal taxation. We're talking about corporate taxes, individual taxes, and estate taxes. Then the financial accounting and reporting, which covers different topics related to the financial statements, the income statement, the balance sheet, the shareholders' equity, and specific local government transactions. And finally, the business environment, which is corporate governance, economics, financial management, IT, and operations management. So if you look at the last part, it covers mainly different business topics, while the regulation is really heavily focused on taxes and business law, and the audit is focused on the audit, and financial reporting is what we study at the university level, but it goes slightly more in depth. So this is an overall over CPA. Let me get into the CMA, and then later on I'll do all the comparisons. The CMA stands for Certified Management Accounting. Like I've mentioned at the beginning, if you plan to go into the audit field, the CPA is the right designation. If you want to avoid the audit and you want to move directly into management accounting, or you want to work in the private sector, the second approach you have is to go for the CMA. The CMA is more focused on financial planning, financial analysis, support the decision making. Of course, it covers ethics. It's part of any professional exam, and different topics you can learn on about budgeting, costing, if you're in manufacturing, how you cost an item, analysis, buy versus lease. So all those type of skills that you need to be a good financial manager, it will be covered by the CMA. You will mostly work in the private firms, multinational, government or non-government, academics or consulting. You will rarely find CMAs working in the audit field. So it's a different approach to looking at accounting. A lot of people call the CMA, there's a question mark, is the CMA really an accounting designation? Some people, they say yes. Some people, they say no. It's about more of financial management, and it's more about decision making, and it's more about risk management. So it's not heavily focused on accounting. You still have to know your accounting part, but the approach to the exam is slightly different. So like I've mentioned, you can work as a cost accountant, financial manager. A lot of CMAs hold the position as a CFO. They do business analysis, budget analysis, and many other topics. So their main role is to prepare, analyze financial data, and then submit it to CPAs who will audit and produce an audit opinion. So mainly it is focused on budgeting and forecasting and managing working capital and an evaluation of capital investment. So again, it's a mix between finance and accounting in reality. To sit for the exam, you have to meet the education requirements, and the education requirements mainly, you have to have a bachelor's degree in any field. It doesn't have to be in accounting or business. If you don't have a bachelor's degree and you hold, you're in your last year, you can still pursue your CMA. The experience is 2 years required experience in order to have the title, and you need to pass the exam as well. It's a two-part examination. The first part is financial planning and performance analytics. So you study external financial reporting, which is similar to the CPA. Then you focus more on planning, budgeting, forecasting, cost management, internal controls, and technology analytics. Part 2 is financial statement analysis, corporate finance, risk management, decision analysis, investment decisions, and professional ethics. Your passing grade, you should score minimum of 360 over 500 in order to pass the exam. And on the CPA, you need to score minimum of 75% in order to pass the exam. So the type of questions, you have multiple choice questions and essay questions. 100 per part, so you have 100 questions per part and 2 essays per part. And the timing is a 3 hours exam, 4 hours exam, 3 hours dedicated to multiple choice questions, and 1 hour for solving the essay questions. So again, it's a computer-based examination like the CPA. The exam is offered locally, both the CPA and CMA, the exams are offered locally in Saudi Arabia. There are testing windows, but in general, you can sit for the exam the majority of the year, with few months that are considered blocked month where you cannot sit for the exam. This is on the CMA side. If we go now, we get out from the accounting and we move strictly to finance. The third option you have if you're in the financial field is the CFA, which is the Chartered Financial Analyst. So the CFA, unlike the accounting designation, you have the American, you have the British, you have the Indians, you have SOCBA, the Saudi. When it comes to the CFA, there's only one global designation, which is the CFA. So it's considered of a very high standard. It's a very prestigious, it gives you a very strong ethical background, and it's globally recognized. So what do the CFA do? Unlike the CPA and CMA, they work in the investment field. So mostly the banking sector, investment firms. So a lot of them work as portfolio managers or research analysts or traders, equity analysts, a lot of them reach the C level in their position. Some of them work as fixed income analysts, investment analysts, and some people work in sales, selling financial products and investments. And a lot of them work in treasury, or they work as a financial advisor in the banking sector. So it's mostly focused on the investment field. To become a CFA, you have to pass the exam. You have to have 4 years of experience. You have to have a reference letter. You need to submit that, and you apply to become a charter holder. And once you're a charter holder, you need to maintain it. So in all of them, in order to maintain your certification or charter, there's continuing professional education you need to maintain, as well as you have to work according to the ethical standard required by the organization. So if there is any question mark, if you do gross negligence, you might lose your charter or you might lose your certification. Like I mentioned, you have to have a bachelor's degree or you be in your final year in order to sit for the exam. You accumulate 4 years experience. The experience could be gained before or after passing the exam. So you cannot have the title until you finish 4 years of experience. And if you don't have a bachelor's degree, then they can look at how many years of university education you have and how many years of experience, and this is assessed on a case-by-case situation. Unlike the CPA and the CMA, there are no parts. There's 3 levels to the exam. So you have level 1, and then you have level 2 and level 3. Level 1 is mostly focused on knowledge and comprehension. Level 2 is on application analysis, and level 3 is focused on synthesis and evaluation. On an average, it takes 4 years to complete the CFA because you cannot sit for the exam on a daily basis. This is changing, but so far the exam for level 1 is offered twice a year, and for level 2 and level 3 is once a year. So if you pass, if you're in level 2 and you fail that level, you have to wait 1 year until you can resit for the exam. But I believe within the next 3 to 4 months, there will be changes. On an average, you require a commitment of 300 hours to prepare for that exam. So what are the topics? You will see on the CFA, it is the same topics, but the weight changes between level 1, level 2, and level 3. So you will cover ethics, professional standards, quantitative, so we're talking here statistics, economics, financial reporting, corporate finance, equity investment, fixed income, derivatives, alternative investment, and portfolio management. And you can see each topic has a different weight depending on the level. So if you look at portfolio management and wealth planning, on level 1, it's 6%, while on level 3, it's 35 to 40%. So you start with the basics and you build up, and the focus changes between level 1, level 2, and level 3. The exam structure is level 1 is 240 multiple choice questions. It's 6 hours exam, 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. So you have 120 questions in the morning, and then you have 120 questions in the afternoon. And the exam results will be published within 60 days. Level 2 is 20 to 30 vignettes. So vignette, what we mean by that, it's still it's still like a multiple choice questions, but you have a major question and several questions attached to that question. Again, it's 3 hours in the morning with 10 to 15 vignettes in the morning and 10 to 15 in the afternoon. And again, 60 days to take the exam. And level 3 is like level 2, exactly. Morning 3 hours, evening 3 hours. And the only difference is for level 3, it takes 90 days to get your results. Now, this is changing. Starting in 2021, the exam for level 1 is going to become a computer-based examination. Currently, it's pen and pencil. Is going to change into a computer-based examination, but the type of questions remain the same. So this is an overall between the difference between CPA, CMA, and the CFA. I will answer the question later. Let me go into non-accounting and finance certifications. So something now for you who are in marketing, everybody is talking about digital marketing these days. So that's a new, I wouldn't say new, it's been there for a while, but now there's a professional association offering certification in digital marketing. And recently, the scope of digital marketing has been shifting from not only marketing, but digitizing the business. And the latest research by the Institute shows that 80% of companies now are investing in educating and upskilling their staff specifically in the marketing, to shift from the traditional marketing into the digital world. So what do you do as a digital marketing? So we're talking about website optimization, search engine optimization, capturing emails and subscribers and creating leads and nurturing those leads. We're talking about mobile selling as well, how to do micro-targeting in a digital world. We're talking about Google, pay-per-click, how to use the social media channels to achieve marketing goals and objectives, and how you overall analyze your digital marketing strategy. And then we have the display campaigns through digital campaigns, and how you plan and strategize for that, and how you optimize the social campaigns to achieve your objectives. So really the shift in marketing has been lately towards digital, and a lot of publishing companies now are facing that problem. The program itself is, what it covers is mainly an introduction, and then it gives you knowledge about paid search, how to use Google Ads, and then how to utilize content marketing, how to use content marketing to generate leads, and how you maximize on display and video advertising, and then how you use the analytics and Google Analytics, social media, email marketing, and then it focuses on overall digital marketing strategy, search engine optimization, and website optimization. This is what really the program covers. What's interesting on this program is that the program itself is set up, and the learning outcome is set up by corporates. It's not, so you have a council made up of Google, Apple, LinkedIn. So most of the large corporates that we know about in the digital or technology field are part of a council that they set up that program, and they update it on a regular basis. The exam is 100% computer based. It's 3 hours. It's 100% multiple choice questions or drag and drop or matching. You need to score minimum of 60% on the exam. And the exam testing is done locally in Saudi Arabia. Because of COVID now, so the exam now you can do it at home. It's computer-based examination, but in general, it's done at the Pearson VUE test centers, and the exam is on a continuous basis. If you look at most of professional qualifications now, they're mostly becoming computer-based, and they're done all year round. So this is for digital marketing. Then we have the SHRM, which is certification in the HR. If you're planning to move in the HR field, again, there's a certification for that. And the largest association globally for the HR certification is called Society of Human Resource Management, where they offer 2 different certifications. What the program prepares you for is how to manage leadership and navigation, how you look at relationship management between employees and employer. It gives you a general business acumen, and again, it focuses on ethics. The exam will test on critical evaluation, consultation, global and cultural effectiveness. We're working now globally. And then it goes into the HR technical expertise. So if I want to summarize this, so the exams test on behavioral competencies, the candidates. So we're looking at global cultural effectiveness, communication, relationship management, business acumen, and ethical practice. And then we go into the technical competencies. When we go into technical competencies where it requires HR technical knowledge, we're looking at people. So how you set the HR strategic planning, how you do talent acquisition, employee engagement and retention, learning and development, and total rewards. And then we look at organization, how you structure the HR function, workforce management, employee labor relations, and technology management. And the last place, it tests you on the workplace. So how the HR fits now in the global context, diversity and inclusion, corporate social responsibility, and the US employment law. For international candidates, you will not be tested on the US employment law. So again, you cover, if I want to summarize it, you cover technical and soft skills. This is what the exam will test you on. And again, there are two certifications. One is called the SHRM-SCP, and the other one called the SHRM-SCP. What is the difference? One is a certified professional, and the other one is a senior certified professional. Mainly, the CP focuses on technical, and you require 3 years of experience in order to sit for that exam. And if you want to go into the SCP, it's more on strategic level, and you require a minimum of 5 years of experience. For those who are starting their careers, they should go for their CP. Once you accumulated more than 3 years experience, I'm talking 4 to 5 years, then you can go into your the SCP. It is the same exam. There's no difference. It's just the weights are different on the exam. So if you are sitting for your SCP, you're more focused on the strategic aspects, while the SHRM-CP is more focused on the technical aspects. So what you require for the SHRM-CP is 3 years experience, while the SHRM-SCP is 6 years in HR. And if it's non-HR, it requires more experience. So for the SHRM-CP, you have to have an HR-related degree and an experience of 1 year in that role, or non-HR degree with 2 years. And if you have a master's degree, the number of years of experience is less. It is the same exam with a different focus. So if I want to summarize the HR, you have to have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 3 years experience to sit for the exam. The behavioral competencies that I spoke about is, you can see the different weights. This is technical. I just want to give you an idea where leadership, business, interpersonal, HR, knowledge domain, we go into people, organizational, workforce. And the type of questions is either situational judgment, where they put you in a situation and you have to make a judgment, is 40%. And the foundation, the general knowledge, the weight is 10%. And the technical aspect of the exam is 50%. It's a 4 hours exam, both 160 multiple choice questions. So 95 is based on knowledge items, and 65 is where you have to do judgment for both exams, but the weight difference. So it's a 4 hours examination, computer-based, 100% multiple choice questions. The last certification I want to talk about before we open the room for discussion and comparison is if you are in the supply chain field, there's a certification called CSCP, which is offered by an organization called APEX. It is the largest HR organization in the world. They're based out of Chicago, and it really tests you on your knowledge. It gives you the skills required if you're going to work in supply chain logistics. Now, like I mentioned, the world is changing drastically, and now having a proper supply chain within the organization is a very key element for the organization to succeed. If we look at the largest corporates in the world that are successful, if we look at Amazon, we look at Apple, they're more about they have mastered their supply chain logistics. It became a science, and that's why they're very successful. A lot of people think that Apple's success is because of its innovation or the product. Yes, it is, but 50%, if you dig deeper, what Apple does is mostly supply chain logistics. They bring the best products, they source them from different parts of the world, and they source out manufacturing in different parts of the world, and then they just put it together. So the real success is because of how they manage their supply chain and logistics. So if you want to work as a warehouse operations manager, or you want to be a logistics engineer, or a transportation manager, or you want to sell logistics services or production as well in manufacturing, the CSCP will be the right qualification for you. What you require to have, again, a university degree, bachelor degree, and or 3 years of related experience. And if you don't have a university or experience, if you hold another certification related to supply chain, they will take it into consideration. And of course, you need to pass the exam. So the exam is, just to give you, it's made of the exam is made of 3 modules. I don't know why it's moving, it's timing. It's made of 3 modules. One is supply chain logistics. Module 2 is how you manage and execute. And the third part is, if you can see it, is how you improve and best practices of supply chain. It's a 3-module examination. It's a computer-based examination, 3.5 hours examination, 150 multiple choice questions. You'll be graded on 130 questions, 20 out of pre-test. They're not marked. And the results, you should score between 200 to 350 in order to pass the exam. It's on demand, and the exam is at Pearson Review Testing Centers. This is an overview of the various certifications that I was supposed to speak about. I went a bit quick because there's a lot of information. I'd rather have a discussion with you guys and answer any relevant questions, whether how to prepare, how to study, what is the difference. I'll open up the floor for discussion. All what I want to say, just to conclude about that, there's no one professional qualification better than the other. It depends on your career path. So if you want to be in the accounting, you have various designations. If you want to be in the finance, you have various designations. So it all depends on your career path and what career you want to, what you aim for, what's your objective. Once you decide what's your objective, then you will go for that certification. So there's not one better than the other. They all require a lot of hard work. It's not impossible. It's by practicing and solving previous exam questions and being committed to pass, being committed over a period of 4 to 6 months to prepare for those exams. And it's not, again, we have thousands of candidates from Saudi Arabia sitting for those exams, and it's all about how much committed you are. I'll leave the floor for questions. I don't know how you want to go about it, but I'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fadi, for such a detailed presentation regarding all the certifications. I think the students, especially nowadays with a lot of skills-based talent being recruited, I'm sure certifications will be a cherry on the cake for many of them. A quick question before I open the floor also, and maybe this may be something the students might be interested in. Do any of these certifications offer scholarships for students to pursue, or a fee waiver or some kind of a discount? Maybe you can shed some light on that.
Yeah. So on the CMA, there are various scholarships being offered by the IMA. And I believe KFUPM, you do have scholarship, you have an arrangement with the IMA. From Morgan's side, we are aligned with the IMA when it comes to the CMA certification. We do have scholarships for various universities. We'd love to have scholarships with the KFUPM on the other qualifications. For sure, we can arrange for that. So yes, we can. There are scholarships for some. For the others, maybe they're not structured yet, but we can have a discussion with KFUPM management, and we can structure some kind of a scholarship program for KFUPM. That's for sure.
Wonderful. I think that will be very useful for a lot of these students who are going to be graduating within the next 1 year, especially, so that they can start thinking about at least going on one career path that they've chosen.
Yes.
Okay, Great, great. Thank you again. So we'll open the floor for question and answer. Just raise your hands, please. Those who want to ask the question, and then you can unmute and please go ahead and ask. Yes, Abdurrahman, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for all the useful information. I really benefited from this. I am trying to pursue a career in data analytics or business analysis. So are there any certifications that might help me in this career path?
Very interesting question. Data analytics, yes, there are. I wouldn't say there are professional associations now offering certification. They're starting to come up. There are few based out of the US, which Kaplan Schweizer have a learning program, but those kind of association, they're new. What I presented here was very tested with a long history in the professional exams. But yes, there are few organizations that are testing and providing certification in data analytics. There are as well a lot of programs now, professional training towards data analytics and data science. So if you want to pursue that, yes, I can guide you who to contact. I can tell you for sure Kaplan have some of those programs. Wiley have some of those programs as well. But the programs are yet more focused on what does the provider think the topic should be covered. Few associations are coming in the US now testing on data analytics. Again, that subject is not only about related. So if you look at data analytics now, it's broken into different industries as well. So you have data analytics related to sales, you have data analytics regarding, or even those programs are now being categorized to which industry they belong. But it is upcoming, it's a hot topic, and you can prepare for those exams.
Thank you. I have just a related question to that. I'm currently taking an honor degree with Udacity about data analytics. So yes. Are they like a reliable source? If I put it in my CV, will it show that I have better like experience or better tools in that field?
Look, I don't know their program. I haven't looked at their program. I can tell you one thing, any education you can accumulate, it will empower your CV. And it's not only about knowing that knowledge, it's about telling the employer the fact that you went and on your own and you took that course on your own, it shows your motivation that you're going after career, you're hungry for knowledge. So definitely it will benefit you. Now, what are the type of topics and how credible is the program? I cannot advise you, but you have nothing to lose. And I think it's something good to have it on your CV. Definitely it shows what type of person you are, what your motivational aspects. So definitely you should have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions, please just raise your hands and then you can take it from there. This is a good opportunity to ask questions regarding all the certifications, and I think it's very important. I have a question, Mr.
Yes.
Fadi, while we're waiting for students to ask. Now, we know that a lot of these certifications and these bodies come with a very big network. Maybe you can give some benefits of joining these and what are the exact outcomes that we can actually get from these networks that are extended?
Yes. So like I mentioned, those are professional associations. Once you pass the exam, in order to maintain your certification, you have to be a member within those organizations. And the membership, of course, comes with the benefits. So it's like like a doctor, you belong to the order of doctors, if you're a medical doctor or if you're a lawyer. So in order to practice, you have to be a member. You have to maintain your license or your certification in good standing. Now, there's a lot of benefits that comes with it. It comes with networking. It comes with continuing professional education, so you have access to a lot of courses free of charge once you become a member, where you can attend them and webcast. You have references on of tools that they will provide you to do your job. For example, let me give you a few things on digital marketing and the HR. With the digital marketing, once you enroll and you become a member, you have around 300 different tools that they will provide it to you, and it's constantly updated, is where you can use it in your job. So if you want to create a landing page for a website, there's a template ready. You can adjust it. There are case studies, what this company did and what this company didn't do well. So you have the tools that they provide you. Same thing in the HR. You have various job descriptions available, different compensation plans. So it gives you the tools to do the job. It's important networking. You can attend conferences and continuing professional organization. And those happens all year round. It's not a one-time event. So really, you belong to an association that's not only about passing the exam, it's a lifelong learning and support once you pass those certifications. Specifically in Saudi Arabia, which is the largest market in the region, those associations are very, very, very active in Saudi Arabia. I know that IMA is very active in that market. SHRM, they're very active in that market. Actually, they have a lot of ongoing discussions with the various government entities in Saudi Arabia. SHRM, I know a lot of government entities in Saudi Arabia as well are pushing for those certifications. So yes, there are a lot of benefits. It's not only about passing the exam, it's becoming a member and making use of the network, the tools, the resources available, attending their conferences, and the webcasts and the continuing professional education. And for what you pay a year, it's nothing for what you get in return.
That's great. I think it opens doors to a lot of opportunities. And yes. I think it's a great way to actually make use of that. Yes, we have a question from Abdullah Al-Ghamdi, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken. Abdullah?
There's a question from Yusuf Ansarullah.
Okay, and from Yusuf also. Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu rahmatullah. How are you, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah. Yes, Abdullah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the supply chain certification. I think you said that the requirement preferably to be a bachelor degree in business or a related business. And I wanted to ask about the process itself, studying for that certification and taking the exam. How long does it take, and is the material the same as we take as the universities, or is it new content?
Okay, for which certification you're asking about?
The supply chain.
Supply chain, okay. So on an average, just to give you, the materials, I mean, the heading, the topics is definitely similar to what you learn at the university, but the approach is different. Because you go more on what the university is teaching you is more on the general knowledge and the academic side. With those certifications, what they are testing you on the professional side, so on the practical side. So the approach to the content is different, and the materials comes directly from the US. So it comes from the related association where they will ship you the materials. And the materials includes everything you need to prepare for that exam. So it comes on with the textbooks, it comes on with previous exam questions, it comes on with the software that you will install that will monitor your progress. How are you performing? What's your progress? What's your level of knowledge? Where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and where you should focus your studies on. So it comes with videos, it comes with flashcards of things that you need to memorize. So it's a complete learning system. It's an ecosystem. Now, this is from the content preparation. On an average, it should take you between most of the candidates clear out the certification between 4 to 5 months. If you're really committed, I mean, it's up to you when to sit for the exam. Like I mentioned, you can sit for the exam at any time. So if you want to take the course now and you want to sit for the exam after 1 year, this is possible. Is this the right thing to do? No. So most of those who pass from the first time, 60% of those who pass from the first shot, they clear it out between 4 to 6 months. Because if you drag, first of all, the content is dynamic. On a yearly basis, it's being updated. So you might be studying with outdated material. Second, you will not be motivated. If you let this drag, then you start postponing, and I don't have the energy, I don't feel prepared, and you start dragging. So if you want my advice, you should be able to complete any of those programs between 4 to 6 months. You don't need outside sources. Everything you need to prepare for the exam will be given to you, and to prepare and to register for the exam and become a member. It's a very straightforward. I mean, we can direct you on how to go about it. It's not something very difficult to do. The most important is really to make use of the learning system and to solve previous exam questions. One thing I want to relate, which is very important. In our culture in the Middle East, we count on the instructor to explain the material for us, and what the instructors tell you to focus on, that's where you study. And we have the tendency to, I used to do it, we have the tendency is to postpone everything for 1 week before the exam, where we cram everything, we see what the student notes have taken, we memorize it, and we go and sit for the exam. With professional qualification, this does not work. You have to stay up to date, one. Second is your focus should be more focused on solving previous exam questions and practicing than memorization and the theory. So always we guide the students is that you need to solve every question 3 times available, minimum of 3 times. You need to be scoring 90% before you attend for the exam. And I can assure you, you can memorize the textbooks from cover to cover. You go sit for the exam, you will fail. And I can tell you, if you solve the question 3 times and you don't read the material and you're scoring 90, your chances of passing is much higher. Of course, both options are not the best options. You have to balance 60 to 70% of your time is on practicing and solving previous exam questions and doing exam simulation. And 30 to 40% of your time should be on theory and reading and understanding the content. Memorization will not help you. Some instances you need to memorize certain things, but applying your knowledge by practicing previous exam questions, this is the trick to passing the exams.
I see. And one more question. What time is it? What is the best time to take the exam? Right after university, or a year or 2 years into the job?
Okay, my advice, I always tell the candidates is that finish from your university and plan immediately to sit for the exam. I'm going to tell you why. One is that the minute you go to an employer and you tell them that I'm planning to start to preparing for that exam, that gives the employer confidence that you know what you want and you're focused, and you're joining an organization and you know your career path. There's no right or wrong, but I prefer candidates the minute, first of all, once you join work and you have a family and deadlines, it becomes very, very much harder to manage your time. Your time does not become yours. So ideally, by the time you finish, within the first year to 2 years after graduation, you plan to sit for those exams. A lot of people finish from university, start preparation while looking for a job, and by the time they get employed, within 2 to 3 months, they sit for the exam. you have more time on your plate. And it's a question of time. It's not a question of GPA, how smart you are. Really, those exams is how much time you put into them and commitment. So people who pass the exam are not more clever than those who do not pass. It's just that they put the more commitment and they master the exam strategy approach. So the more time you have, this is when you should prepare for those exams.
I see. And one more question is about how the exam affects my job if I'm already employed at a company. And does the company immediately consider the certification in my career path?
Definitely. Look, if you are in the accounting field and you are in the audit, let's say you're working for the Big Four, let's say you're working for Deloitte or KPMG or Pricewaterhouse or KPMG, you will not become a manager in those companies if you don't have your certification. That's in the audit part. You definitely will not get to the audit managerial position without a certification. So definitely companies recognize the importance of them. Definitely it will give you a push, but I want to be honest with you. Not just by passing the exam that the employer will change your salary and tell you, here, you're going to be a manager. It's the combination of experience you accumulate. It's your character as well, and your other side of things, your soft skills, your communication skills, in addition to your technical knowledge. It's the three things together. Would it help you? Yes. Would it accelerate your career path? Definitely. Would the employer appreciate such certification? I can tell you 90%, if not more, they will appreciate that. Now, if the employer does not appreciate that, the understanding of what you went through and the knowledge you gained, you don't want to be working for such an organization.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yusuf Nasrullah, do you have a question? Yes, go ahead.
Yes. First of all, thank you for this great webinar. I've learned a lot. I have a question about the digital marketing certificate.
Yes.
Yes, if you can tell me more about it, because I didn't know where can I sign up or from where I can get it.
Okay. So when we look at the digital marketing, the certification is offered by the Digital Marketing Institute. It's called DMI. So how you prepare for it is, you can prepare for it in a live classroom environment, which we offer in Saudi Arabia, or you can do it online. We can send you the links and everything and all the details. Now, within the DMI, there's various certification. There is the general one that gives you an introduction over digital marketing, which is called the CDMP, Certified Digital Marketing Professional. That gives you an overall, and it's the most selling program, over the general knowledge that you require to start your career in digital marketing. Of course, like any other topic, if you want to specialize, then there are other certifications you can specialize in. So if you want to specialize in digital selling, exactly about digital selling, there's a certification for that. If you want to specialize in strategy and planning, there is a certification for that. If you want to specialize in SEO or Google Analytics, there's a specialization for that. But my advice, if you're a fresh graduate from university, start with the general program. The program is around 2 months of length. It can be delivered online, virtual, or in live classroom setting. It depends on what's your preference of studying. Again, we can send you all the links and the information for you. You can email us and we can send you all the details requirements.
All right, thank you very much.
Great. We'll take the last 1 or 2 questions. So please just raise your hands, or you can just tell us in the chat box that you'd like to ask a question. Maybe while we're waiting for that, Mr. Fadi, one question from my side. How can Morgan International help our students in the preparation of the exams, or in combination at this moment of time, especially with COVID-19 going on?
Yeah, so what we've done is that, first of all, we have All our classes are running virtual, like every other educational company. Actually, we've been delivering online classes for the last 3 years. So we have around 40 or 50 different classes going on. We have specific timetable we created for Saudi Arabia. So all the classes are delivered in a virtual environment where, when I say virtual, is we have fixed schedule where instructors go online and they deliver, they present the content, we will ship you the materials and the books. So we can deliver it in virtually. And the option as well, if students don't want to commit to a schedule, they want to do it as a self-study, we can arrange for that as well. Now, just to be very clear, Morgan, we don't create any content. Our job is to match the content provider with the subject matter expert in the region and advise the candidates how to sit for the exam. Now, if we have a large number of KFUPM students who are interested to join together, we can open a specific course for KFUPM. We're very flexible, depending on the numbers, or they can join our public classes that they can see the class schedules on our website for the various certifications.
Great, I think that'll be great. And maybe students can also contact you directly. Is there a contact that we can probably,
Yes, we can. What I will do after this, I will ask the marketing to put a flyer together for KFUPM with specific discount, because you asked me about scholarship.
Sure.
And we would like to establish that relationship with KFUPM. I will send it to Amran. I'll have Amran send it to you guys. We'll create a document that gives the contacts, the emails in every city, and we will share with you the template, and you can circulate it around to your students. One thing as well we can do for your students, if they're really hesitant and they don't know what to do, we can admit them to one of those online classes. We can open the access for some of the students who want to get a feel of it. There's no commitment.
Sure.
We can give them 2 or 3 lectures they can attend and to see how the classes are run. Are they happy? So just to get a feel of the program, this is something we can do as well.
That'll be great. That'll be great. Thank you very much. I think Mr. Shahidul Islam has something to say. Please.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Fadi, for the wonderful presentation. Very informative and very beneficial for our students. And the way you are answering questions is mashallah, amazing. I'm sure students will greatly benefit from this webinar. I have one question. Lately we have a lot of interest in ACCA certification, because we had numerous visits from the ACCA Middle East over the years, and
yes,
and so quite a few of our students got involved in the ACCA certification. We got 8 waivers out of the 13 papers that they require, and also because the Big Four, they value ACCA, as good as the CPA in the region.
Yes.
And so my question to you is, a lot of students ask, is there any institute or any organization that support the preparation of the ACCA exam? So does Morgan do anything with ACCA?
Yeah, we do. We're actually partners of the ACCA. We're not offering ACCA in Saudi Arabia. We're offering it in Bahrain, actually. We have 400 students in Bahrain, the ACCA. But again, we have virtual classes. So if students are interested in the ACCA, we can also service them. We're a gold partner of the ACCA. We've been focusing on the diploma in IFRS rather than the ACCA qualification. But yes, we can direct the students into our class schedules. We do offer it, but we have not been promoting it in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. But they have the option of doing it through online.
They have the option online. They have the option as well to attend live classes.
Okay, great, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay.
You're welcome.
And so we'll wait for the material or the information from Mr. Imran, as you said, inshallah.
Yes, what I will do after this call, I will be sitting with the marketing.
Okay.
I will first send you this presentation, and I will send you the contacts of the offices if they have questions. definitely would love to answer them. And if there are further questions or you want us to do a demo lecture, we're very flexible. I mean, KFUPM is a well-reputed university, and it would be very exciting for us to work with such a reputable organization in the region.
Sure.
So we're very flexible. We want to support your candidates, and we'd like to see high success rates from your university. So whatever it takes from us, any ideas you have, definitely we will be sharing a promo code to offer the student-specific discount for the university, as long as they have their graduate alumni or you have valid ID. And I will share the information with you guys soon.
Great.
Great. Thank you very much. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you so much. Fantastic stuff. And we'll also be uploading this session on our YouTube channel so more and more students could benefit, because it covers all the majors. So thank you so much again, Mr. Fadi.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance.
Taha, we'll wrap this up.
Sure. I think if there's no other questions from students, thank you very much, Mr. Fadi. It was a pleasure having you with us today, and I think students learned a lot, especially now with these senior students who are about to graduate. I think it'll be very good for their career paths. So I look forward to our students actually taking up these certifications, and we look forward for your help also in this regard, inshallah. So thank you very much, Mr. Fadi, really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and have a good day, Mr. Fadi. And we look forward to having you at KBS once, inshallah, we're back again from COVID-19 situation.
Would love to. It's always be a pleasure to be at your campus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.